having no idea if she was going to strike my ass down for such an offer or not.
She's like, bruh, could be a little creative. What are we, pagans?
I mean, she does take blood, but well,
Yeah, in the moment, I didn't know that. I was like,
yeah, you didn't at the time.
I hope my neighbors aren't mad.
They'll forgive
I'll
you
suck it.
later.
Yeah, who cares? It's 6:30. All right, who cares?
Fair. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just like I'm hovering for half a sec because like I would play cathedral music. 'Cause I've got a good playlist for that.
Oh, I gotta unmute the bot. Oop,
Or you know what? No, this one fits better. Where is it?
going to play some Meet Me at the Crossroads.
This one fits. This one I think fits better.
To be clear, what we saw is Eladir screaming but silent, and then fell to
Yeah.
the ground sobbing.
Yeah, as he was like
Okay,
just
want
pacing.
to make sure I know what
Yeah,
we saw.
sorry. He was pacing back and forth, just screaming at this statue and then pointing at it several times as... I don't know how your what am I saying? Your freaking perception's out of the world. Yeah, just completely distraught as eventually he just falls right onto his face, just all fours.
So he falls onto his face. Eladir doesn't notice the clouds that have built up above after his cries out to divine of cries out to the divine in his own agony. The rest of you do, though. Unlike most revelations and times that the divine communes with man, you see, the rest of you, the clouds that begin to build above Eladir, and the twisting column of mist that seems to reach down into his private sanctum, surrounding him. It is only as he opens his eyes, wet with tears once again, and realizes that everything where he's at is completely white. No sign of the graveyard anymore as he stands. And where the statue of Siloyan once stood, you see a cloaked figure. Similar, though certainly far less colorful. A black cloak like a starless midnight, draped over a porcelain figure, only seeable through hands, the lower half of the face, hidden by a hood. A barbed spear, held in one hand. She stands both at your same height, and yet, strangely, in this oddly groundless void, though you could swear you feel some beneath your feet. Both your same height and infinitely greater. It's hard to tell what expression or emotion lies behind those eyes, that face. If there even is one. Is there any reaction that Eladir would have upon witnessing a goddess?
No way. Realizing, hoping this wouldn't happen, but as he just immediately kind of takes a step back in just fear, knowing what he said, what he's done, as mouth agape, unable to get any words out as he instinctively just backs away in primal fear.
Oh, Eladir. You remind me a lot of her. I'd expect that, given your proclivity for her gifts.
Am I dead?
No. Though you have certainly spoken some things many would consider blasphemies, I, on the other hand, am quite used to the cries and agonies of those who mourn the dead. I do not spite you for the words that you have spoken, for they are certainly true to you. But you do remind me of my lost sister, of Druhea. Before she left us, she came before us and told us, to our faces, that we cared not for the mortals beneath our charge, claimed that we saw them as little more than amusements, as as pets, or, well, simple, well-liked things. And even then she thought that was at our best, and at worst seeing them as mere annoyances, petty insects to be ignored. She was wrong on both counts. We do care, Eladir. More than you might think. But I hope you understand. It is not our place to intervene. In many ways, it's simply because we can't. Even this show of myself stretches me far more than you might think, even for a being with what some would call infinite power.
Then, please, may I at least make one request then?
You may make it.
I don't know when I'll die. But before I do, well, at least give me enough time to at least see through what I want, what I need to do to keep these people safe. Please.
If you seek safety for those you love, the path you are taking will not lead you to that. You see her just lean forward,
As he,
both becoming closer and more personal, and yet seeming to increase ever still in size.
he goes to yell out in anger, but his voice gets caught up as deep in his heart he knows she's probably right.
I will not stop you if you pursue this course. There are other gods who can choose to smite you for that. I won't. But you had best understand that this... well... this won't just affect you. I've met many in my life who wish to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, do whatever it is necessary to make things better, willing to offer themselves up as the sacrificial lamb for the slaughter. But know this.
I can do it! I have the capabilities! I am powerful enough!
But can you sacrifice them? Because if you go down this path, you are risking far more than just your own soul.
It's for the greater good.
That's what they all say. Well, as much as it pains me to know that you would violate my sister's corpse with your intentions...
I don't mean to hurt anybody. I never wanted to hurt anybody.
Few often do. You feel a hand, not hers oddly enough, seem to lay itself on your shoulder.
Yes, he's just looking down now. Like, what can I do?
Your best. that's all any of us can ever do. With that, the mist begins to disperse from its column. Not disappearing, but rather spreading out to cover and blanket the entire city as the clouds above break apart. And everywhere is wrapped in a white mist, before slowly dissolving and fading away. But before it's gone completely, you actually still see the goddess standing before you in the mortal realm. And as the mist disappears, she appears far more diminutive. Same size as you, still in her same, well, godlike regalia. And Aelrain, on the outside, you witness, for the first time in your life, your goddess standing before Ellidyr. As a hand that is free of the spear seems to reach up and pull back the hood for just a moment, so that you can see her eyes at last. You see a strange sight in them. What you feel is, as you look into them, is that this is a being that has seen and felt far more deaths and pain than you ever could have. And you realize in this moment, she mourns the dead, probably more than any mortal ever could. And as she speaks one last set of words, a simple request. Don't go down this path, Ellidyr. I will not stop you. But I would ask, as someone who must bear these burdens, to not make the same mistake as so many others have. Forget this path. She then looks towards Aelrain and Aelar, both of you recognizing she's looking right at you, though oddly you don't have the same sensation of seeing the infinite behind her eyes that Ellidyr does. Simply says,
We can't hear this because she's in a sanctum, right?
you haven't heard a word of this.
Okay.
But as she says these final words, it does pierce the power of the sanctum. Forget this path for them. And for those you have yet to meet. And then she fades away. Blending in with the rest of the mist that spills out from beneath her cloak. The hood is lowered, and she vanishes from sight.
Have mercy on me.
As the sanctum
See,
breaks, sound spills in, and despite your efforts, the spell is completely broken
oh yeah.
at the merest touch from the goddess.
See,
Maureen is.
sorry.
No, she's just on her knees. Okay.
So he reaches into his pocket and takes out a very rustic, sharp coin. As he looks at it, looks at the two behind him, and then just leaves it on the, doesn't toss in the fountain, but just leaves it on the edge. I suppose I won't need this anymore. As I will remove that from inventory as he turns around and begins walking back.
Alrighty.
Doesn't he begins making his way to the graveyard, doesn't say any words to Alar Aelran.
Eventually she'll stand up, kind of watch Eladir go. I don't say anything either. This dude looks like he needs to not be spoken to right now. We'll take Alar's hand, give it a squeeze, and just start walking a good, 50 paces back from Eladir, just in the same direction.
Well, I'll take her hand and think he's kind of just confused. Like, what the fuck is going on? Come out here to pray, God fucking shows up, shit's going crazy, so it's just really not sure how to react. So I think he's almost not shocked, but it's like his mind's trying to process what he's seen. So he's just quiet.
As you get back to the tavern, Elder goes up to his room and he gathers up the diamonds that he had. So he'll step out of the room as Elrain, before you are falling a little bit behind before you get to your get inside. He will hand you back that small bag of diamonds.
You don't need it anymore?
I don't need it anymore. Forgive me.
How much were they again?
He gave you 6 platinum pieces, so I guess 60 gold pieces
60
worth
gold.
of diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll add up eventually. Kind of her hand out and squeeze his arm.
I'll confess. Maybe not tonight. We still have a long road to go.
We do.
I'll confess it all.
She'll give him a hug.
I'll just weakly return it. I'm gonna just maybe go on a walk, go lie down. I'll leave early in the morning, and I'll just probably get some rest.
Don't get into any trouble. I won't have to go running after you next time. I've got one man to run after. Please don't make me have another. She'll give his hand a squeeze.
Have a little faith. She kind of gives a fake smile, or gives a actually not a fake smile this time. This time a real smile. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Maybe I do too. So we'll squeeze back your hand and go back downstairs, creaking wood under the night, being quiet, just not disturb anyone else, and camera fades back to you two.
Actually, I think we're going to end the session there.